Hi, everybody. Woohoo. How are you all doing? I am here. Need to turn my boop, boop, boop. There we go. It's funky. There's a little weird lag. So like I see myself here. So this way I can see the chat room. So hi, everybody. It is March. Oh my gosh. 8th already. 2022. And we are here to do spiritual chit chat. This is something that I started doing on another platform. Gosh, maybe a year and a half ago. It seems like it was right when the whole pandemic thing was starting, and it was such a wonderful thing to be doing. And then I stopped doing it for a bit. The platform changed, and I just all of a sudden decided I wanted to do it again because I enjoy it. And what we do is we talk a little bit about a topic of some sort, and then I do little mini readings. I am Michele Amburgey. I am the Awakener. I am an intuitive. I am a twice certified psychic medium. I'm a master energy healer. I have 23 different energy healing modalities. I'm a clinical certified hypnotherapist. I am a past life regression therapist. I have 3 different forms of life coaching. I'm a light language facilitator. What else do I do? I'm a voice actor. I got a lot of stuff that I do, and I just love everything spiritual. You know, I'm working on my doctorate in metaphysics, which is really fun. And what I'm working on is where's consciousness? Like, where is the consciousness? And it's been really fun to be working on that. And then we're going to do little mini readings. If anybody feels like you want a private reading, please, please, please go to my website at micheleamburgey.com and, you know, ring me up and get a session. We're living in really bizarre times, you guys. But it's funny, this card just popped out, and it's the card of humor. I've got the goddess cards here. I'm going to be using goddess cards. I'm also going to be using dragon cards. The dragons are being really, really vivid right now. I'm feeling like that dragon energy really wants to be happening. And I'm getting ready to set up a dragon class with my dear friend Tucci. So look for that. So we got all kinds of fun stuff going. Also, for those of you that don't know, I do have a membership site. I've got 3 different tiers, so you can figure out how far down the rabbit hole you want to go. And tier 1, you get weekly angel readings, and you get an ebook with all kinds of prayers and meditations and stuff. It's really prayers and affirmations, things to affirm. And I'll be adding new ebooks every couple of months. There's also a free meditation on there for you to enjoy. And if you're in the second tier, called the Ascended Masters tier, which is only $33. The first tier is $11 a month. Second tier, $33. You get everything in the angel tier, and you also get a weekly or a monthly energy message, and you also get to join in our weekly meditation. So every Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. we have a meditation, and they're really cool because they're all channeled, and they're super high frequency, super high consciousness to really expand your mind and expand your spiritual practice. And then the big kahuna, the cosmic Christ level, is $77 a month, but you get all the meditations. Every Friday we have a course. We have 6-week series courses that are super cool. They are master courses, and there's 6 weeks. There's a couple that might be 4 weeks, but right now we are working with archangels, and we're learning about archangels. So they are recorded, and so you can join in later and get the recording if you like. And you also get 20% off of any private sessions you get with me. So there's a lot going on with all of that. And so I got that membership site. I also am doing classes over on Learn It Live. If you go to learnitlive.com/Michele Amburgey, you'll see The meditation is going to be over there. And I'm also doing some spiritual intensives. Once a month, I'm doing what's called a spiritual development intensive, which is super cool because we go really deep into a particular topic. In February, we went into the 12 chakra system. And what we did is we learned about what they are, and then we meditate on them, we activated them and got them online, because we are moving into using the 12 chakra system because it connects us to our soul groups, to our interplanetary beingness, our expanded consciousness. And that's what's happening right now. And that's part of what brings me around. Oh my gosh. It brings me around to what we're talking about today. That is anxiety. I am finding, and I myself have been struggling with it. Okay. I myself am struggling with it. I'm looking at what's going on here. The Zoom. Looks like we got somebody going. Okay. All right. So I've been struggling with it, and I've had so many people that are coming to me that are struggling with anxiety that have never really had a problem with it. And I think part of it, and I've got Archangel Michael and actually Archangel Raphael here with us. So we got the protector guide, and we've got the protector archangel and the archangel of healing. And they're talking about we've been under so much stress as a species, as a collective, for 2 years. For 2 years, we have been in chaotic upheaval. We have been in situations where it's like terror and fear. I mean, like our lives are being threatened with this whole virus thing, and getting shots that we weren't sure if they're good or they are or they're not, and the division between everybody. And, back in 2020, we had all kinds of riots. And I mean, it's been crazy. And what happens with a lot of people is that, we handle the mayhem. And then when things kind of start calming down, like right now, we just have World War III coming up. After all that pandemic, we're like, World War III, whatever. But we have this, I think everybody's getting to a state to where either they've reached their maximum and they're in overwhelm, or it's turning kind of a little bit into an apathy, which is another stage of overwhelm. But what comes with that is this anxiety, is this low-lying, under the covers feeling of what's next, what's happening. I'm not safe. I'm not okay. And now there's a lot of people that think that anxiety is like, oh my God, I have anxiety, or, I'm feeling a little bit nervous. But there are other things that happen when you have anxiety. You can become very, very unfocused. It can be very, very hard for you to focus, to collect your thoughts, to be able to function at all. If anybody is doing, is having to go to work or running a business, it's very, very difficult to just kind of get on task and go. A lot of time anxiety is joined with a little bit of depression. So it's that tiredness, that apathy, that disinterest in anything, not having a lot of energy. It can include body pain. A lot of people that have anxiety, they are trying so hard to control that you actually, it's almost like you're trying to hang on, that you almost like drive it into the cells of the body, which can begin to create pain. What are some other ways that anxiety shows up? Sometimes it's eating too much or drinking too much, addictive habits, or the opposite of that, right? Not eating, not drinking your water, not taking care of yourself. So anxiety can show up in a lot of different ways. And it's really important to be mindful of these things, because every single one of us has been under, Archangel Michael just said, under duress for a really long time. We have been under duress for a really long time. And, for 2 years, can you guys imagine that? We look back to 2018, 2019, And, we all thought the world was going along fine, a little bit of craziness, a lot of, focus on politics and all that kind of stuff. But man, when 220 hit and all the political stuff, and then the virus, and then the shots, and all of the marching and the burning and the mayhem and the, oh my God. And then we got into 21 and it just kept going. And here we are, 2022 March. We're a quarter of the way through and we're still like just, on fire all the time. And so when you get that way, when you're feeling that, when it is, when you know that you're just not feeling right, and a lot of it really can be focus. I find a lot of people are like, I just can't focus. I can't think about what I'm doing. That is a sign of deep stress. That is the sign of anxiety. And anxiety can be completely overwhelming. Another thing that goes with anxiety that's really important to note is developing a short temper, anger, kind of unreasonability, especially if you have anxiety derived from trauma. And we have to remember, we've been in trauma for a couple of years here, all of us, even those of us that haven't, maybe that all this stuff that's going on hasn't really affected our personal lives that well. We're still a collective consciousness. We still all affect each other. Everything that we do, we interact with each other. And those of you that are sensitive, those of you that are empathic, those of you that are very intuitive, it's easy to pick up on those energies. It's easy to kind of feel the collective kind of seeping in. So it's really, really important that you guys, especially you sensitives out there, us sensitives out there, that we make sure that we're doing a lot of chakra clearing, a lot of cord cutting, a lot of salt. If you guys don't know about taking salt baths, big grounding. There is a company called Vibes Up that has all kinds of products to help you ground. And I actually just got back in touch with them again to get some new stuff, because we're shifting. Our energy is shifting. The Schumann resonance is off the chart. And to stay kind of in our bodies, to stay grounded, we want to be doing things and having our items about us that are very grounding too. A good grounding stone is black tourmaline. Black tourmaline is really powerful. It just looks like a chunk of coal. And it is volcanic in nature, but black tourmaline will chase away the oogie boogies. It will get the negative energies out and it will help you to ground. It's one of my favorite stones. And it's kind of funny because I have my whole house gridded with it. Every corner of my house, I have tourmaline, the outside of the house, the corners of the property. And when I have housekeepers come to clean, they're always like, what's that in the corner? Why is there poop in the corner? So be sure to warn people what you're doing. But also grounding, getting out in nature, getting out in the sun, getting your feet in the grass or the dirt or the sand. If you live near a river or a lake or the beach, getting out there, getting that sun on you is really, really important too, because part of anxiety is also that feeling of separation. And we forget that we're natural beings. Our body, our vehicle, what our soul gets to ride around in is this natural being. It comes from Mother Earth. It's connected to the fairies and the devas, the fire devas and the water devas, the earth devas, the air devas, where we have all the elements in here. And if we're isolating ourselves away from nature, or if we're too busy in our life, or if we're, if you have anxiety, a lot of times it's hard to get up and even do anything. It's so much easier to just stay in bed or, maybe stay in your lounge chair and watch Netflix. And it really is. And I want to say I'm speaking from absolute experience. And a big part of the reason why I'm talking about this today is I've really been struggling with it. And I usually can handle, I can, I usually have a couple hours and get it under control. And it's really intense. And I know part of what I'm feeling is the collective. I'm feeling you guys too. And we all are so important. We're all so precious. And we're going through this major shift. We're going through chaos and mayhem, going through a major shift. And, if you're having anxiety, it's totally normal and expected, but it doesn't always feel good. Please, please, please reach out to me, if you're really struggling, or reach out to someone, an energy person. Energy healing can really help. Just basic Reiki can really help. And I'm going to try to get some things up and kind of stay in touch a little bit more, because it's hard when you have anxiety. The classic anxiety, that anxiety that wells up from within is just like, holy crap, the world's coming to an end and I'm going to die, is overwhelming enough. But then when we have all the other things that are going on too with it, like with being crabby, being angry, not being able to sleep, that's another one, just disinterest, just not just, sometimes it's like food, nothing looks good, nothing feels good. And, it can kind of present itself as depression. They tend to be hand in hand. But one tool that I use that is really, really powerful that I want to share with you, and I'll give you a couple of them, but one tool that is really powerful is when your mind is racing and you're feeling that, oh my God, I'm out of control, because that's a lot of what anxiety is, whether it is the overwhelm and the disinterest and the apathy, or the anger and the frustration and the snappy. I get very, very snappy when my anxiety is high, and it looks like I'm, being a B word, but it's not. It's because my anxiety is through the roof, and I've, lost friends and had fights with people that I really love because that snappy comes in. And it's interesting because it runs down the whole female side of my family. Now that I know what this is, I can see my mother had it, my grandma had it, my daughter has it. We've yet to see if my granddaughter has it. We can see that kind of that cycle of that anxiety thing. And it's something that we want to stop. So here's the little tool that's so cool. When you're having the anxiety, a lot of times you can't control anything. The brain is going, you're having thoughts so fast that sometimes you don't even know what you're thinking, but your body is responding. So a lot of times, if you can just slow your brain down enough just to start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you start jumping around in numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 17, 92, 63, 18, 15, 37, 24, 68, 19, 142. What happens is your brain can't race and produce that feeling of anxiety when it's focusing on something else. So we know that anxiety is a lot derived from the thinking process that's out of control, right? So if you can get the brain just to do one simple thing, count. So you start off with the first, 4 or 5 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll kind of get your brain's attention and then start jumping around. All of a sudden your brain is focusing on what is the next number, right? And it'll sometimes give you enough to kind of calm the body down a little bit. Ooh, take a couple of nice deep breaths. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing. And, I know that I've jumped around with those numbers for 4 or 5 minutes before I really feel like, okay. Ooh, and even just doing it right now, my own anxiety is kind of calming down because earlier I recorded something for my membership group and the recording disappeared. So I'm like, I got to do it over again. So I'm like, anxiety. And it's silly things like that too, that can pop up that just feel, they don't feel good. They don't feel good. Here's another tool that you can use too with anxiety. Oh, we got 4 people watching. Hey, if you guys are watching, say hello. Say hello if you're here. I have had major technological stuff going on the last week and a half. So usually it tells me on the Facebook thing that it's live and that little thing's not up there, but it looks like there's people. Brandy. Yeah, Brandy, it's good. It's good. That works. Here's another thing that works really good for anxiety. When you're in that and like everything, oh my God, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. And it's the weirdest feeling. It's like just the feeling I'm gonna die doesn't even cover it. It's like that's just a simple way of putting it. But a lot of times it's really good. Again, it's getting the brain focused on something else. You can start looking around your room and you can name 5 things that you see: window, pencil, calculator, computer, light. And then you pay attention to 3 things that you can feel: the chair, my feet, the warmth of the heater, the table beneath my arms. And then you think of 3 things you can smell: my perfume, I can smell the outside, I can smell the earth, I can smell incense that I'm burning. And so a lot of times that'll bring you back into, and when you're doing that, look around your room, look at what is around you. It'll bring you back into your body. It'll bring you back into the now. Because again, part of anxiety is this feeling of separation. It's separation from God. It's separation from nature, separation from ourselves. And so when we bring ourselves back into the present moment and give the mind an opportunity to like, stop racing, you'll realize that in that moment you're okay. And sometimes you have to do it over and over a couple times too. It's not always a one fix, or it'll calm you down for a bit and then that anxiety starts winding up again. Anxiety is a really weird thing. I've had it most of my life and I didn't realize what it was, until really kind of recently. It's like, oh my gosh, I've had anxiety. Another thing too is I have OCD. Little bit, not too bad. I mean, it comes out sometimes. Some people in my life might say, well, it's a little bit more than a little bit, but OCD and anxiety tend to go together too. So just a little bit of information for you guys, because I know anxiety is really high with everyone. And don't hesitate to get help with it too. Find someone to talk to. Give me a call. Let's do some energy clearing. Let's do a reading. Let's do something that we can get you kind of back in your body, because that is one thing that's happening right now. A lot of people are running around and they're half out of their body, and that's a trauma response. And again, that's a separation of us from our body, from the vehicle, the vessel that our soul rides around in. And, that can be dangerous, because when we leave our body, ultimately that is the end of the line for this body. It's not the end of the line for us, because we're eternal. But, it feels that way. It feels that way. So you want to really think about having these tips kind of in your back pocket. And also if you know anyone too. I used to have a friend that used to have horrible anxiety attacks, and we could at least get her calmed down enough to where we could get her in a car and get her to the hospital, because we would have to take her to the hospital kind of a lot. It was bad. And so don't hesitate to reach out. Don't hesitate to get a little bit of help. You shouldn't have to suffer from that, because anxiety is miserable. It is miserable. I know, when I get it, I can't really function. I can't think right. I can't keep things in order. And I run 2 businesses, well, actually kind of 3 small businesses, but sometimes I just can't function. I have a hard time returning phone calls and emails. I can't remember what I need to do. If I didn't write it down, it doesn't get done. I don't respond really quickly. Like people will send an email or a text, and I'm kind of like, I don't know. And when I look back later, when I'm out of the anxiety attack, it's like something simple, like, how are you? Or is our meeting still on Friday? Really simple things that could be answered, but you get in that state and it's hard to function. And there are tools and there are things that can help. There's also herbal remedies, also getting enough sleep. That's another thing. That anxiety can be one of those things that you don't get good sleep. And so it's super important. And I'm not a doctor, so I can't recommend anything, but magnesium is great. Magnesium is magnificent when I'm having a lot, and I use the powdered stuff that's called, I think it's called Calm, Doctor something Calm Magnesium, and it's powdered. And it's really, really good. Don't overdo it at the beginning though, because it will help you. It will help you move energy through. Yeah, multitasking. That'll get you. That'll get you. So thank you guys for watching. If anybody else is watching, please feel free to pop your little hello here in the chat so we can see. And I am going to get started doing some readings here, some little mini readings. Or if anybody has a question about anxiety or anything like that, please feel free to ask that question as well. Do a couple mini readings. The way I do mini readings, you ask a question, we'll get you an answer. Archangel Michael goes on the premise that if you can formulate a question, you're ready for the answer. If you just say, give me a card, he's like, then we'll give you that kind of an answer. He's really big on taking responsibility and really getting the very best that you can get for yourself, giving yourself the very best opportunities. And, you know, when you guys are on things like this, I mean, this is amazing. You guys are in the presence of angels. You really are. It's not just, you know, a thing or a frivolous thing. I mean, it's real. And you've got all kinds of psychics and people doing this kind of stuff. It's like take it seriously, kind of honor what it is and honor yourself when you come to that place. It's really neat. So Ver, what question would you like to ask? And there's so much goodness out there. And you know what, guys, we are heading in such a beautiful direction. I know it doesn't look like it. I know it seems like Archangel Michael is going hell and mayhem. And it does. It does. But we are in a time of change. We're in a time of change. We're in a time of where we are all growing up. You know, you hear people talk about wake up. It's not because you're sleeping and it's not because you're stupid. It's because there's a part of you that is still kind of mesmerized or even programmed to think and be and live in a certain way. But they're putting the squeeze on everybody so much that it's almost like this awakening is being forced on us because things are getting so uncomfortable that, you know, we're all going to have to stand up and make a choice. And when we do that, that's when things will change. And I am reassured for my guides, my guidance. I work with, you know, the intergalactic beings, and they're like, it's going to be okay. But, you know, they're like, you guys got to get up and do something. We're not coming in to rescue you. There's no Jesus coming in to save the world, and you guys can all just lay there and have your anxiety attacks. All right, Bear. Should I stay at a new job? Not sure, but okay, got it. You know what? The ocean, the mermaid cards want to come out for you, Bear. I use the cards that are called the Oceanic Tarot. And I don't read tarot, but these ones are so pretty that I pretend like I do. And really, it's all just channeled answers anyways. All right. Yep. As soon as you step up and take full responsibility for your existence, the squeezes will stop. And that's a lot more than what we know. And that's why it's so important to really start being serious about spiritual practice, about gathering with other spiritual people, people that you aspire to, people that you look up to, always moving up the frequency channel. And there's people at all different kinds of frequencies. And so if you hang in the same frequency that you're used to and don't move out of your comfort zone, you'll stay there. And so it's kind of like anything. When you want to improve or expand or advance, you want to have people around you that inspire you and that advance you. And we always keep the tried and true. It's not like we leave them behind, but we have those people in our life that we can work with. So Ver, I am shuffling about your new job fit. Let's see what's going on. New job, new job. I feel kind of like Ver, I feel a little bit like kind of like you got this job. I want to say almost like maybe you were looking for a long time, or you were in a situation where it was like, oh my gosh, I need a job. And then, this job showed up. It's like, all right, great. Whew, okay, I got a job. But it's interesting because the card of what's the next step is options. And so I'm going to say that if you're really not digging it, it's time to start looking, because your next card coming in is manifestation, happiness. Sorry about that. I got a hair in my eye. How interesting is that? See beyond what's right in front of you, honey. Use your imagination / intuition. Listen to your gut. Do something that you're passionate about, and you'll find your destiny. You'll find your destiny. I would say this is not a thing saying yes or no, it's staying at the new job. But what it is you're not happy. Go find a job that's going to make you happy, because you can have it. Use your intuition. You're intuitive. You've got that gift. You've got that. And really, it's almost like ask the universe and your higher self to shift your frequency to allow these opportunities to come in. Because one of the things that many of us don't understand is that we are connected to the powers of the universe. It's not like the universe is out there and we're like, please give us what we need. We're dying here. It's the universe is within us, and it's all around us. And so when we can engage our inner universe with the outer universe and say, I really would like a job painting murals. I really would love a job where I'm surrounded by beautiful music. I really would like a job with something that you're passionate about. Many, many years ago, as I was getting into the spiritual stuff, I was an accountant. Talk about a big like whiplash from one to the other. But I decided like that. It's like, I want to do the healing and the psychic and intuitive stuff instead of all this other stuff. And I just kind of decided, and I knew it, and I manifested it. And there were days, that I'd be like, oh my God, I'm never going to pay my rent. But I got to the end of the month. And even though the paper and numbers, as an accountant, this drove me crazy too. It's like the numbers didn't add up that I should be able to continue to pay the rent and stuff. And I had little kids then, no help from anybody, no child support or anything. And it always worked. It always worked. We always ended up paying the rent, by the, what do they call it? By the skin of my teeth. But it always worked. And I learned to trust the universe in that way, to trust God, to trust Goddess, whatever word we use. But honey, start looking for a job that's going to make you happy, because it's out there. And use your magic. Use your magic. Stop. Archangel Michael's going to get rough on you. Stop being a victim and take the reins and make that job come to you. A perfect, wonderful job. So your part in this, Farah, is to decide what qualities you want in a job. It's not necessarily, oh, I want to work at Kaiser, but it's, I want a job that have happy, healthy, emotionally healthy people with good pay, that has, state a couple things that you would love to be, comfortable offices, beautiful music, beautiful surroundings that serve, a higher purpose, whatever it is you want to do, use that and let that be something that guides you, to open up to something new and different. I do feel like that there's something, Vera, I feel like that there is something for you. And I'm getting the term just around the corner. Keep your eyes open, pay attention, use some of your manifestation skills like we were just talking about, and let's find out how all this works. It's almost like kind of play with it, see how it works. Don't quit the job right now, but I do feel that in 6 weeks or so that you could find something else and you can just step on over, and if you're in a financial situation where you don't have to work for 6 weeks, well, then you know what needs to be done. But usually we need to find something to step over to. And I feel like 6 weeks is a good time frame for you. So put it into action. Yeah. Archangel Michael, he can get rough. He uses swear words too. He told me one time that he likes working with me because I'll drop an F-bomb when he wants one to go down. So, which is kind of cute. So is anybody else? I know we don't have too many people on today, but that opens it all up. I'm going to put my website on here. If anybody wants a private reading, I'm also going to put in where I host my classes and stuff too. Ooh, Brandy, my husband submitted several job applications last week. You know what, Brandy? There's one that I think he will get called back for that feels kind of good for him. And it's weird. I don't even know how to describe this feeling. The best way I can describe it is it's under a blanket. And I have no idea what that means, but it's almost like I'm seeing like a white fluffy blanket and there's this job. And the job, there's nothing, like there's no picture in my mind of what the job is, but there's a fluffy blanket over this job being needs to look underneath. That's how weird this stuff is. But it is, I do feel like that there is one, but I also feel like he has a little bit to go before he really gets in there. It's almost like the universe kind of wants him to slow down a little bit, and take care of himself, and just take a breather. Like even just tell himself, take a week off. No, don't apply, don't do anything, take a week off, take a vacay if he can, just to gather himself, because he works really, really hard. And I also feel like that he's definitely, like, he's been running this way for a long time. He's definitely changing direction, and to kind of be gentle on himself too. But yeah, you got 6 weeks. You got a 6-week number coming up for you too, or for your husband. And again, you know what, Brandy, I'm feeling that Arizona thing too. So that might be where that Arizona was coming in as well. This might be what's coming up. Interesting. Yeah, let me know. As a matter of fact, I'll be talking with you tomorrow morning, so we'll talk about it. But yeah, it's there. So there is one of the job applications might be one he'll take a deeper look on. So I'm going to pull. We got these beautiful goddess cards, and I know a lot of these kind of things people watch later. Ooh, There's one that stayed in the box. Let's see what it is. Oh, salvation. Ooh, green Tara. I try to hold these up so they're not shiny. And I'm going to read this one out of the book. Isn't that one pretty? There's a lag on my camera, so I can't really see. Cool. Thank you, Brandy. Let's do green Tara. I think she's a number 18, which is a 9, which is new beginnings. Green Tara. I'm going to read her message right out of the book. Green Tara, known as She Who Saves, is here to remind you that salvation is contingent on your willingness to release your ego conflicts and surrender your wants and unmet desires to the divine. Isn't that hard to do? To just let go. It's like these things that I want so bad, these things that I've spent my life desiring to accomplish, sometimes just letting go and surrendering it to the divine. And Green Tara asks, do you find yourself swimming in a nagging spiral of dissatisfaction? Are you comparing yourself to others and always coming up short? Do you feel entitled to the manifestation of your wants arriving in the only form that you will accept? You know, there's a lot of manifestation people that teach, you know, you have to be very precise in exactly what you want. And I have found that doesn't work for me. I think for some people it does. But for me, I'm more about what is it going to feel like, because the emotional energy is more powerful than the mental energy. And we need to feel it. When we can feel what that wonderful job would feel like, it's more powerful. When you're suffering from longing and wanting, you're like a hungry ghost that will never be fed and blind to the opportunities that are truly there for you, that are truly yours. Never fear, just as a true friend will let you know when you're off track, Green Tara will let you know when you're out of alignment. She'll save you from the destructive qualities of hubris, entitlement, and elitism, as well as the consciousness of lack with the following alignment task. Getting a task. Get right with yourself and get right with the world. First, know that you are exactly where you need to be right now. It's perfect. And if that means empty for a time, that's okay. Instead of looking at what isn't there, bless every tiny aspect of your life with deep gratitude. Green Tara will show you that the world is your friend. You've only been fighting against yourself. You will then recognize the earth as a place of joy and abundance. This is really, really good. Gratitude is huge. Gratitude is huge. It's so important. You know, I even had an experience recently, a few months ago. Over the holidays, I had a lot of time to kind of be by myself, and I wasn't really working much. And so I really could meditate a lot and just be in that beautiful state of just bliss through the holidays. And I got very much into a very deep gratitude state where I was just filled with gratitude. It was so wonderful. And then moving forward, as I started, getting back into work again, oh my gosh, the clients were calling and people I'd never heard of and all these opportunities. And it was crazy. It was like, oh my gosh. So I took my mind and got it on, because I'm kind of a workaholic, work. Okay, but, and I forgot about the gratitude part. And it was like, woohoo, and it slid off again. And so that gratitude is so important. And because I tend to be a little bit anxiety, and this ties back to our topic too, it's really important to stay in gratitude when you have anxiety, because anxiety is an emotion of lack and fear, and it's pretty low vibe. And so when in anxiety, if you can, it's a little bit difficult sometimes, but when in anxiety, if you can take a few moments and look around and say, I'm thankful for that window. And I'm thankful for the chair I'm sitting in. And I'm thankful for my computer. I'm thankful for my home. I'm thankful. I'm so grateful. That makes, oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, that's a vibe. When my frequencies go up and down, I yawn. But gratitude, guys, gratitude, big frequency lifter. And so in that anxiety, 1, 2, 3, 4, 12, 17, 132, 98, 64, 15, I am really grateful for everything I have. And go and see how that works for you. See if that's something that you can enjoy. See if it's something that lifts you up. And let me know if any of these things work for you. You know, write down in the comments. And also subscribe, because here's what I'm doing. I have to get my subscribership up to 1,000 to be able to offer more for you guys and use more of YouTube's bells and whistles and stuff. And so I think I'm at like 155. I kind of just started getting serious about this, starting to figure out how it works. And so subscribe, help me out, help me get enough subscribers that I can start bringing some more stuff for you guys. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I know that sometimes, you know, we talk about fun, happy, silly stuff. Sometimes we talk about serious stuff. Today we're on the anxiety train. Let me know how you guys are doing. And then we're here every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So I hope you're all doing good. I love you so much. Go check out my website, check out my membership site, check out where I do all my classes on Learn It Live, and subscribe here so that we can play more. I love you guys. I hope everybody is having a great time. I hope you're all happy and healthy and whole. And so I send you blessings. Love you guys a lot. And we'll talk to you soon.